Welcome to Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, the podcast where the heart of small town life beats loud and clear. Each week, we dive into real stories behind the challenges and successes of living in a tight-knit community. This is where small town dreams, drama, and determination come to life. This is Small Town Pulse, and you're right on beat.
Well, today on Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, we have Victoria Schneider, who's the chair of the Spencer County Humane Society, director. So tell us a little bit about the Spencer County Humane Society and what you all do.
We try to do a little bit of everything, but our biggest thing for Spencer County is we are the first open intake for cats. Just at the time, and right now Spencer County doesn't have many rescues, and the shelter, just their hands are full with dogs. So that's our biggest piece. And then we also offer low-cost spay and neuter services, rabies clinics, wellness clinics, because it can be expensive to have a pet. It just can. And, you know, our own personal feeling is everybody should have a pet. So if we can help with that, then that's what we'll do.
It's amazing. I know I was having a conversation with someone on Main Street the other day, and they were talking about how many loose cats, feral cats there used to be on Main Street, that the street would just be littered with them. And since you've came into town, it's been so much better.
Yes, because we have a program, it's TNR, Trap, Neuter, Return. Neuter is also spay, so it doesn't matter. But we try to go out there and trap them. We vet them, which is neutering and spaying them, giving them their rabies, and then putting them back. But that stops a cycle of moms getting pregnant, because people don't realize a female can get pregnant at 4 months. She can have up to 3 litters in a year and just multiplies.
And 7, 8 babies at a time.
Yep.
So that adds up fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, right now it's just dogs and cats. And
Well, we had some ferrets.
Okay.
We have birds too, and and then we have snakes sometimes that people have turned into us. But we're able to, I bring them either to my home because we're equipped there for it, and we find rescues that we know.
Steve, did you really think there was any animal Victoria would turn away
No.
with her bleeding heart?
No, I didn't think, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what-
we try to help everybody
Right.
onto that. We've been called a couple of times for some horses. Obviously, my personal farm, my horses are my pets, and they like things a certain way, so we do it direct. We do it from that farm to another farm. But we try to help. If we have the resource, then we're there.
And so in the time that you've been out here, is how long? It's been almost 2 years?
No, so February 26th this February 26th was technically our year anniversary. We came into Resource in October 9th of 2023, but we've been doing intakes since February of that.
And in that time, what is your biggest success stories and your biggest challenges that you face?
Both very big questions.
Yes. Personally, I say, and I look at it when I look at numbers, I say the success is the amount of spay and neuters that we have done for people that may not be able to afford, a few $100s, and they have multiple cats, onto their home or farm or whatever it is. So I look at those numbers and I see we are making a difference. There is something there. There is a need there. Professionally, I look at it just because the calls a day that we get for somebody needing help, and we're able to talk them through a situation, help them with resources with other humane societies, other clinics, all of that. So I see behind the scenes. I see the numbers that we do and that are needed there. So I take that as a success.
Absolutely.
Struggle would be financial. That's going to be anybody and everybody across America right now, but especially in small town. We try to do everything at a low cost, and we look at numbers and we do it as much as we can, but sometimes it's right there at the piece. A lot of times personal funds have been used to pay bills. I've had close family friends that have, you know, I use the word invest, but they're not investing. They're just flat out donating. Donating money to us. But that's going to be the biggest piece.
I think that's where every nonprofit in a small town, particularly in our small town, is struggling.
Yes, 100%. That's why when, you know, everything happens for a reason, but we're excited to be on Main Street because there's a lot of small businesses, but there's also a lot of nonprofits there that it's scratch my back, I scratch yours. And it's not necessarily anything physical. It is tagging in a post.
I'll shout you out, you shout me out.
Correct. And it's, oh, I didn't know that was there. Oh, that is cool. That is, you know, those little pieces to help everybody, because it might be one of those, somebody contact me and, hey, we have, you know, these bookshelves and blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't need them, but well, wait, I think I may have somebody that does need them, and they're, you know, nice, gorgeous bookshelves. So let's see if they could use them just as much as we could. So
I know you've done a lot of work with some of the businesses here in town. I see that looks like the Taylorsville Nutrition.
yes,
Thing.
yes,
I know you've done work with Pyrite Illusions
Yes.
and things like that. And I think that's one thing about our community, that we do tend to work with each other,
Yes.
because it's the only way we'll be able to survive. So it's kind of cool that we do that. And talking about the financial struggle, like you were saying, there's a big misconception, I believe, that people get you confused and think that you're part of the government agency
Definitely.
that
Yes.
is getting funded.
we still get calls on that every single day of something. They'll need something, and we have to give, you know, wherever we're at. And they're like, but my tax dollars pay for you. I wish they did. I wish they did pay
Sounds
for us.
like a dream.
Yes. But we have to explain to people we're two different entities. The shelter is funded by tax dollars and government funds and government grants. We are purely donations and the little few cents off of every surgery coming back to it. So, but it's okay. We understand that it's small town. People get confused.
confusing.
So we have to explain, and that's fine.
I think whether it was small town or big town,
Absolutely.
that's something that everybody,
oh, yeah, I think in Louisville
where's my
people are
tax
still-
dollars
Yes.
going? That's the biggest complaint that I think people have.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times they don't know because, well, why am I paying for this? That they should be doing it on their own, and it's difficult. I know that's one of the biggest challenges. Now, do you offer a foster program or something?
We do. So there are multiple fosters because we do everything for the pet. You'll hear me often say, I could care less about a human's feelings. I care about that pet. So we have foster to adopt, we have foster for placement, we have foster for regroup, we have foster for decentralization. We look at what the pet needs in that time. And sometimes the pet needs a adult only, no other pet home, so it needs to be placed there for 30 days. Those people don't want to adopt, they know that that's what they're doing. Then from there, we need a family, a rowdy family, to see if they get along with that. So we test in all stages, and our foster programs are in all stages. Everything is for the pet, so that we know when we say, Jojo, she's a long-haired domestic cat that we have. No small kids, no dogs. It's not that she couldn't, but she wouldn't be happy in her life because she needs just somebody's lap, a cup of coffee, and pets. That's what she does. She doesn't want a yapping dog or kids or anything. So we know that. We have tested that, and we make sure so that ultimately when she goes and finds her forever home, she stays and she's happy.
Do you guys have a good success rate with placements? Do you get many of the animals back?
We don't. So in the year that we have been doing it, it's only been 2. And I say...
Out of how many adoptions, roughly?
117 of 2024. We have, I think, 30 this year. But those 2, the first one was the first one that came back to us, I think that they would have tried still. It was a young cat that they adopted from us. She had just had a baby. It was kitten stage. Kittens, just they're kittens. I think that they would have continued to try, but ultimately the kitten was staying in one of the bedrooms when she had the baby out. That's not
Ideal.
yeah, that's not good for either one of them. And then the next one, the grandmother moved in and had allergic reaction. So, and we get it. Life happens, and so we'd rather them contact us back and say, "Hey, what do I do?" And we say, "Bring them back."
I'm sure there's a vetting stage that you go through to make sure that these
Yes.
cats are going, or the pets are going to
Yes.
the right place.
So we do a background check in all 50 states, and it makes sure that nobody has crimes against children or pets. Because studies have shown that if you have crimes against children, it started with pets. If it starts with pets, it goes to children. There's studies across the United States and the world where those two go together. And then from there, when they fill out an adoption application, they have to do references. They give us their address. We have our nosy team. That's what we call that. Once that background check, they look on social media. They're looking on Google Maps. They're calling vets. They're making sure all of those pieces, and making sure if they have pets in their home that they are already vetted.
How would you say businesses have really rallied around you? Or would you say?
So before this month, we had a few. We had pirate. There was a few businesses that, hey, let's work together, and it was great, which is fantastic. But then this month happened, and to our shock, there were a lot of businesses that were like, hey, wait, we support you. What can we do? How can we help you move to your next chapter? How we want to see you succeed. We want to do that. And it's very surprising because they weren't upfront or forthcoming.
As vocal about it before.
Correct. So we
yeah.
didn't think it was in the negative. We didn't think that they wanted, us to go away.
Right.
But we just didn't hear from them, so it was okay. Mm-hmm. But then this month happened, and circumstances changed, and we're getting emails and phone calls and text messages. What can we do? How can we help? What is the next piece? And it's very humbling to see that the community comes and was like, no, we do support you. We do know that we need you here, and this is a piece.
Sometimes people get complacent, saying, "Oh, they're there, they're doing their job, they don't need me," and then all of a sudden, some tragedy or challenge happens, and it's like, "Oh wow, they are in need of help," and everybody does that rally.
Yep.
That's another great thing about small town, because you'll see it. You'll see it on the Facebook pages. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes to the backing of somebody,
Yep.
whether it's for or against you.
Yep.
Which is great. I always said, as a business owner, any type of publicity is good publicity, mm-hmm. whether it's good or bad.
Yep.
Your name's at least out there.
Yeah, yeah. Our names are either in our haters or our lovers. So
There you
either
go.
way, we're out there.
Yeah.
But that's great that they rallied to help you out. I know there was a bunch of small businesses that
Absolutely.
did come to your aid and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't only reaching out to you, they were, I made that post in the chamber page that you were potentially going to be closing down. Mm-hmm. And we got an outpouring of people who were like, well, what can I do? How can I help? Or I've got land. Can they move here? Or whatever.
We did. We had multiple people that were like, oh, I have land. I can donate it to you. And then, we go through the steps because you have to be classified for zoning and all this. And thank you, but it wouldn't work. Right. Or, all to these kind of steps. And it's one of those, I had a couple businesses that were like, oh, the chamber made the post, but what have they done to help? And I'm like, I go to their meetings every month. I've met tons of business owners. I have met tons of networking pieces. So those are, places to help and resources to take. And it's, I say my husband, he's very hands off. He doesn't really sometimes understands things, but I tell him, I'm like, just because it's not out there and they're passing out flyers for us doesn't mean that they didn't help, because there was some type of network there and something where there was support.
Yeah. And trying to just help get the word out and all that good stuff. I think a lot of people have the same misconception about the chamber too, thinking that we're government funded. And therefore that's why we should be,
Yep.
helping fund you. I mean, I personally give to you.
Absolutely.
And am happy to do it because I unfortunately just don't have any time to give. And I know you could use both. So I'm like, I'm at least
We'll
going to
take
give you,
anything
I'm going to
and
give you one of the
everything.
two at least.
We'll take anything. But that's where I think sometimes people, they see something on social media or an email that comes through and they have that conception. They think, oh yeah, they're government funded, or, oh, somebody just gave them, money. And I'm like, but here's the monthly bills. So I appreciate that money.
Right.
But please don't think that that money went to something other than our Salt River or our KU now or our water or our rent or, all these pieces. I'm like, here is our monthly spreadsheet of bills that you can see.
You've been very upfront about all of that. More than a lot of nonprofits, I would
Well,
say.
and I did that coming into it because I was one of those people. I was one of those people that, hey, I just wrote you a check for $1,000, but you're still asking for money. Where did that $1,000 go? And a lot of places would be like, oh, it went to bills. Well, can I see your bills? Do you care if I see your bills? Well, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm not saying that they used it negatively.
Right.
But it kind of...
You'd like a little more transparency.
Correct. So then when we started, that was one of the biggest things. You want to see our electric bill? We had Salt River at first, and now we have KU. We're signing papers for KU. Hey, release it to the public where this is our electric bill, and that they want to donate directly to it. Go for it. It's a bill off of our back. All of those pieces, because people, they get mad or they quote unquote hate something until they understand something, and then once they're like, oh, okay, so your monthly bills were $5,700 a month, but your spay clinic was only bringing in, $800. So where'd the rest of that come from?
Right.
It's like those donations and us always asking for money.
Yeah. And then you do get some grants too, right?
We just got a grant. We got a matching grant, and we were so happy about it. And we were in line to get other grants. How it works for the animal rescue world is you really have to have a year's worth of numbers before grants are like, oh yeah, you're worth something. And it's not to be the negative. It's just
To make sure you're legit, and you're
Correct.
steady, and you're going to be there tomorrow.
Correct.
If they give you this money, yeah.
So we got one, and it was a matching grant up to $10,000. They would match, and we turned in our numbers, and we're so excited about that because we're going to be able to pay credit cards off because credit cards are always part. And we had some other grants in line, but unfortunately, with what everything happened when we had to move facilities, I could have not informed them technically and just moved building, but we were in the concept of it was just going to move to my farm. So I contacted them and I said, hey, we don't have brick and mortar, and that's a piece of grants, and we were pulled out.
Oh.
So we just have to reapply every single day. Myself and the other board members are looking for grants, and we actually have a couple people that physically they can't volunteer, but they can get on a computer, so they're looking up different grants, and hey, they send emails. This is one you can apply for, or I have your numbers. So we'll get there. We'll get there where it's a constant.
Volunteers are a big thing too, right? Trying to find help.
Yes. Yes.
And volunteers with skills that know like how to do those things, how
Yes.
to write grants.
Yes. And it's just people think, oh, well, I can't be around cats. I'm allergic to it. Well, that's fine. You can help us on social media and answer comments back, and you can, answer emails for us. You can search grants for us. You can, these little things, and people don't realize how big of a help that is. I don't have to spend 2 hours every single night searching for grants. I can spend an hour because Betty has now sent me, 40 emails that have, hey, this is a grant, can you apply? All of this type of things. So it's the little things. I have, we call them my Tuesday ladies. I have ladies that come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those are the days that I do most of my office work, because they take care of the cats, they take care of the phones, they take care of the clients coming in, and I can step back. And that has been a load off of my shoulders, knowing that when I go home, I can spend time with my children and not in my office doing even more work.
That's the thing that people don't understand also, is just because you're volunteering for the Humane Society, like you said, it's not just to be in the office and taking care of the cats or taking care of any of the pets. Because like me, I'm just starting to learn how to be a pet person since I met my wife, and it was hard. I lived in New York. We didn't have room for, it wouldn't be fair to put a dog in
Right.
an apartment or something like that. So, but yeah, we've gone through the trials and tribulations of being a pet owner, you know, the highs and the lows. So it's kind of great that, you know, we got somebody like you here that can help and bring that through the county. Do you have any events coming up that you can think of? Or?
No, next month. So right now, the new building, everything's construction. We're trying to get everything, floors to ceilings, getting that set up. So we've postponed everything for in May. But starting in June, we'll have our nail clinic again. In July, we're going to be working with the local health department and doing a rabies clinic, a low-cost rabies clinic for the public. So it is starting back up in June, all of our things for the public, and we're asking everybody to bear with us and all that. So, and we've got a list. People are calling in, oh, well, can we get, you know, information, or can you reach out to us when you do your nail clinic or your wellness clinic? So we have a long list of phone numbers that once we have set dates, we'll be calling.
And you do a great job of keeping your Facebook updated. So it's a great way for people to know what you have going on. There's also a text list people can join, and you do a great job of keeping us informed there.
I try.
Of the ways we can help you, of the things you have going on, the events you have going on.
I try, because, and I joke, I am an older person, and so my kids, they joke with me, they're like, Mom, you're on social media more than me. But unfortunately, that's where, and I say unfortunately, but not, that's where we're at. People want to be able to the ease of pulling up on their cell phone or getting a text message or, you know, emails, those type of things. So I try. There's some days where I'm like, my little reminder comes up, don't forget to post. And I'm like, dismiss. I'll do that later. I need a break. But I try.
My hands are in a litter box right now. I just can't.
Something like that, it's also tough because, yes, social media is a big part of everybody's life, but there's people that still like that personal touch, and it makes your job a lot harder because, you know, making a post on social media, great, you did that one post and it reaches thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, but if you have to go to everybody to meet up with them, that's like, you know.
Well, we do, and I say, so I've lived all over the world, and Spencer County has a lot of older generation. And so we have a list in our contacts, and it has little stars beside it. And those are people that either don't get on social media or they don't want a text message. And so we know, so then when we have those updates, I call them. And sometimes I have come to realize it's not just, hey, our nail clinic is going to be this day. It is maybe they haven't really talked to anybody in the last couple of days outside of their wife or husband, whoever's right there. So when I first started doing those calls, it used to be I'd give myself 30 minutes. I can get through this list. It's no problem. Well, then I would look at the time and it'd be 2 hours later and I was only like 25%. And I realized people want to talk about their pets. People want, you know, hey, this is what's going on. Or, you know, Sparky, I took him outside and he started barking. Just a funny story, you know, nothing of nothings, but it means something to them. And I've come to realize that if I'm quick, fast, and, oh, okay, thank you, they don't get that interaction. They don't get that feeling. So then
They're not as connected to your organization.
Yep.
It's a little bit about yourself. You know, as a Humane Society, how did you get to it? You said you lived all over the world. You know, just
Condense all your life into like
Just-
2
like,
minutes.
there you
That'd be great.
So my mom's from the city. My mom's from Philadelphia. My dad's from Huntsville, Alabama. My mom is a world traveler, or was a world traveler, and my father was a not world traveler. But they were both in the military. They met, eons ago. So my father, his father was in Alabama, was listed as one of the largest African American landowners in Alabama. We had cattle. So I know the rolling up the sleeves and pulling out, calves and doing all those kind of things. When I was little, I always wanted to work with pets. That was, my goal in life. But I hated school. Hated it. Hated it with a passion. So I went out and just did my own thing for a while and realized, I could make something and learn something on my own terms. So years ago, I started working for a humane society. It was one of those that maybe weren't as transparent and looking at things, they could be different. So my husband said, either you stop coming home and complaining or you change. Do something yourself. So being here in Spencer County at the time, we didn't have anything here. And it was, okay, let's do this. I have 6 kids. They support and love what mom's doing. Well, they also love getting, pets. Most kids beg their parents for pets, and I'm bringing home something once a week to recoup, or hey, I need you to do this for me with that. So it was just see a need, fill a need. There's a cartoon that's out. My youngest says it's off the Robots movie, and it probably is. But it's just, I am mean enough to speak for them. And I say that, and going back to that piece, I don't care about people's feelings. I care about pets' feelings, because I am thick-skinned enough to tell you, no, you should be spaying and neutering. No, you should be getting rabies. No, you should be doing this. And when you get upset with me because you don't have that full knowledge, it doesn't hurt my feelings. My feelings come to, my 8-year-old not telling me goodnight, or my college, well, she's not in college anymore, she graduated, but her not texting me once a week. Those, my feelings go for those. Or, I have a 20-year-old, she's about to be 21, when she goes out with friends and no longer asks me to drive her, those type of things. But when it comes to the pets, I just, it's a core niche for me.
So you moved to Main Street. Let people know what the new address is, how to contact you, and how they can support you. So whether it's, like you said, volunteers, donations, it doesn't have to be money, it could be food, it could be other things that you might need. And do you have maybe an Amazon wish list or something out there? So
We do. So we are at 205 West Main Street. It used to be the old Spencer County Board of Education building. Once I say that, people are like, oh, yeah, I know that building. We are there. We'll have our kitty cafe hopefully open soon, where people can come in and look at the adoptable pets. We do have an Amazon list. It's on our Facebook. It's on our website. Both our Facebook and our website, they can sign up for an email list or a text alert, so they can get all that information. We can take donations through Venmo, PayPal. Our best one that we have it's called Give Butter. It's for nonprofits. So Give Butter, they cover the service fees. So a lot of people don't realize when you donate through Venmo or PayPal, when you go to put that into your account, they charge a fee. Give Butter takes that fee. They don't charge for that. But volunteering coming in, sometimes we have, cats that are just shut down that we need somebody just to sit with, cleaning, mopping, pooper scooping, just a little bit of everything. Even
Never ending, right?
Yeah, answering phones. But I will tell you, the biggest thing is tell people. Is either if you're sharing our post on social media, forwarding an email on our clinics coming up, or just, going to Country Mart and saying, oh yeah, did you hear about the Humane Society? The more people that know, the more people that we can help, because it's going to be one of those, oh, I have a cat that I need to get spayed, or, a dog that needs to be spayed. I don't know where to go because I can't afford it. because right now the average for spay and neuter for a cat is a little over $250 at a private practice, which no negatives to private practice. It is what it is. But that's a lot. So just that voice and telling people who we are and, hey, stop by, give them a call, it is tremendous. Our phone number is 502-808-0040, or they can email us at frontdesk@SpencerCountyHumaneSociety.com. We couldn't use the SCHS because the high school,
Right.
they had already, which is fine, but.
And then they can get your Amazon wish list on your website too, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Website, social medias, and then anytime that we add something, we've got a new piece now where Amazon will automatically send it out to anybody who's already ordered for us before, as well as they have our email list. Even though it's not sold, it's a link that a web designer actually made for us that sends out, hey, they've updated their list and this is something that they need now.
Oh, very cool.
Thank you very much. Victoria Schneider with the Spencer County Humane Society. Thanks for visiting with us on Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
It's such a needed service. So we really want to encourage everybody to go out, support in any way that they can, whether it's with their dollars, with their time, with their social media, however they can support. It's such a worthy organization. It's so needed in a rural town.
Yep, absolutely.
I think more than people really realize. So we thank you for the work that you're doing here in Spencer County. It's amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a wrap on this week's heartbeat of small town life. Thanks for tuning in to Small Town Pulse, where stories are shared, voices are heard, and the spirit of community always comes through loud and clear. If you felt the pulse today, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're here every week with more small town dreams, challenges, and everything in between. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep your finger on the pulse. This was Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, and you're right on beat.